Hey guys, welcome back. So this is a quick look at some of my first kind of goes at conversions and kit bashes. Years and years ago now, this would have been maybe when I was 14, 15, 16 kind of age. And you can see there some old Catachan jungle fighters. So they would have been Imperial Guard at the time, and I think they're called Astro Militarum or something similar to that. And I'll kind of go through some different phases I have. You see they're kind of different, and I'll kind of talk you through them a little bit. So these guys, I didn't really know, would say the rules exactly when I got these. I must have got the old codex or codex supplement for the jungle fighters just as I was building them. But you see, right, so this guy, obviously this big muscle bound guy, not the worst paint job obviously ever, but you can tell it was a bit heavy on the wash, and there's some mold lines and a lot that can be done to make this better, like an absolute ton. Like you'll see here, I had a go at some camo, which yeah, it didn't really go too well, just two colors. But anyway, this guy, you'll notice this flame effect coming out of his flamer here. That's actually from Moltres, the Pokemon, the big flame bird. That was its tail or something like that from a figure. So from day one, I was kind of chopping things up and trying to fit things together and make things work to make them that little bit different. And he's got some claw marks here. He's got some wounds and he's bleeding from what I don't know, something in the jungle maybe. But yeah. So that's kind of between these two guys. It would have been the first few that I have. Now these are quite old. Like the paint jobs. Not that I'm far from this nowadays, um, as in skill wise, but I think I put that a little bit more time in and the techniques are a little bit better. But you'll see the wash is very, very heavy. This was a flesh wash or maybe a brown wash, that GW used to do their new stuff. Like not sure the name of it, but it's basically their brown wash, like their army painter strong tone type idea. He's a lot better nowadays, I think. And you'll see this guy is a little bit of a conversion. I think this was a compact that would go on their back, and it's kind of turned into a demo charge, like a kind of a satchel or something like that to C4 or something like that. So that's those two guys were the first few I think I did. Um, what do I have next? So these two were something kind of just messing around really. So this was messing with undercoating with white and seeing brighter colors, and these kind of greens here. I think there's two shades of green, so that's a step up already. They're so bright that it almost reminds me of Ali G or something like that. Just the bright camo colors, and just I don't know why. Some of the decisions made on these, I have no idea why I would have done them. I was just a kid at the time. This has two barrels on it, and one's at an angle for whatever reason. Maybe it was meant to be a scope. And obviously, you'll notice here on top, for some reason, he's got a bit of a paintbrush there. So maybe that's a really cool hairstyle. Maybe that was my plan at the time, but I don't know. This is, I suppose, experimenting with that could have been potentially a wash over the white paint, or maybe there was flesh in between. But yeah, very heavy on the wash still on that one. This guy was a lot of fun. He looks like, I bet you now he was inspired by White Dwarf at the time, because they would have been doing different articles on uh, Codex, not Codex Compliant. That's that other channel. Chapter Approved, I think it's called, and they would have like showcases of people's armies. And I remember at one point they had a guy and his Imperial Guard army was accounts as Tyranid army, and I thought it was really cool because they all had kind of alien style, like mind control type guys on them. And so this is, I think, could have been later on again when I had some Tyranid bits, and you'll see some crude green stuff work to attach it onto his back and kind of go into his brain and come out his mouth. And I thought this was the coolest thing when I made it first. I thought it was really cool, and the idea of having these kind of zombie regiments and platoons of zombie guard. Um, but that's it. I would have just made him just from the inspiration of it. But it's fun to try. Like, and these guys are a little bit better put together, a bit more realistic, I suppose. They're not too crazy, in a way. So this guy messing with some more green stuff here. I think I just gave him a mohawk because why not? And I don't think that looks actually too bad. There's some bits and bobs. There's bits of, I don't know what that is. Bits of stone and that in its hair there, but that'd be fine if I painted it. But yeah, that's it. That was it. Just to make something different and give one little bit of each one a little bit of character. This guy here, kind of a Kurt Russell looking the guy. If it's going to focus in on me, yeah. So this pose kind of makes sense to me. Now, if I was to do it now, I'd probably put the knife the other way around, so he'd be like stabbing, just because I think it looks cooler. But that makes sense to me. It doesn't look too bad. So I was getting a little bit better, I think. Anyway, then I don't know where these guys came from. I think these were an old little kit of Chaos Space Marines. I think they were Plague Marines, and you might get 4 in a pack or something like that. And so you'll see here there's more green stuff work, like this tentacle here. This is just my kind of first go at green stuff and what kind of can be done with it. You'll see here crude spines coming out his back. Absolutely no reason why, just because he's chaos, he can go crazy, and extra spikes on his gun, because obviously why not. And very, very crude paint job. All these are very, very crude. I am never one really for putting much time into painting, and you'll see the really heavy wash on the skin here, on the flesh. This guy actually I still really like him. He's a clear badass. Like, he's got this kind of rebreather type idea here, kind of Darth Vader look. He's got a skeleton arm here for no reason at all. And the gore, obviously the gore was a great part of it. Obviously being a young guy. There's a jungle fighter head, if that's going to focus for me, broken off on the ground. I don't know why. And some goop coming out of his neck there, as well as this big tentacle. Some more green stuff work. And this was, I think, a little bit of a toy, and little spines from I couldn't even tell you, some other bit at some point. So this was, I suppose, kind of the start of using toys as well. But I think this guy still works out pretty well. I like him. It's very intimidating with his huge, crazy mace, and his tentacle arm. Very, very chaos. He's really cool. He's one of my favorites. I'm glad I kept these guys as they were and didn't really go painting over them. I don't think I will either. Not all of them anyway. This guy, so I got a little bit more involved. This was more kind of inspired by White Dwarf again. I think they might have got into Necromunda, or potentially, oh, that's a bad paint job there, don't look at that. Got into Necromunda or something like this. So this guy was going to be more kitted up, and I did some green stuff here to hold on his pistol. He's got kind of this bigger, cooler gun. His les gun got a torch in it, and a silencer, and a bayonet there. Thought that was really cool. He's got this kind of headlamp, as well as a shoulder lamp, as well as a little comm unit here. So this guy had a bit of work done to him, actually. He's got his knife, which I think the handle broke off of. These are quite old now. But yeah, really cool little guy. This guy's Kurt Russell looking as well. He's kind of got that head. And you can see a little bit more effort put into the painting and kind of the style altogether. And I wrote Night Watch on it. I don't know why. I don't know what the plan was for it exactly, but he's kind of a cool, badass looking guy. And you'll see he kind of finished up to, this was some kind of Necromunda type idea as well, because I always like the idea of kind of a war band as well. So this was more kind of conversions and cape bashing as well. So you'll notice his legs. These are actually from Uruk-hai, from the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. So scale-wise, his legs are actually tiny if you look at them. But that didn't bother me. It still doesn't really bother me. And he's pretty converted. He's got these claws, and he's got kind of stylized paint job with his kind of war paint. I think it was meant to be more blood. These guys were going to be like a vampire war band or something like this. I honestly can't really remember. But you'll notice, yeah, he's got this fantasy, I think it's Chaos Warrior fantasy sword. And he's got green stuff, shoulder pads. And I think this was staples. These staples kind of create the main part of his chest plate there. So very, very kind of random slapdash put together. But I think it looks cool in the end. And this guy was another guy in his warband here. Same thing again, kind of matching the colour scheme of Flamer. Don't know why he's got some dude's head hanging off his arse, but that's fine. And this big screaming head on him as well. I think that might have been a fantasy range, a Warhammer fantasy range head as well. So I had a few of those. So you'll see they kind of went along, maybe got better, hopefully got that a little bit better. And I would always make little bits and bobs like this out of what was left in the packet. So you'll notice this is bits of crude. At one point I had some Tau as well, and I sold them on. But you'll see, like, you always get extra parts in the box, but you never get enough bodies, which used to really piss me off. So I had crude arms and a crude head. These are actually little goblin. I think they're goblin wolf rider legs, which I got somewhere at some point. Got some crude bits on his back. And his body itself would have been just a lump of plastic. It would have been either sprue or some green stuff. And I said, look, that's enough. You'll see the paint job. This one doesn't look undercoated either. None of these paint jobs are fantastic. I'm not even really embarrassed to show them. I'm just kind of, this is where I was at the stage. I was never crazy about the painting side of it. But just that I would always be slapping little bits together and seeing what I could come up with. Now, don't ask me why he's got a piece of metal coming out of his head. That's irrelevant. Don't worry about that. But anyway, guys, look, that's a little bit of a blast from the past for me anyway. I kind of dug these guys out. I've got more different bits and bobs, crazy bits and bobs like this in a box somewhere that I might dig out at some point. But anyway, guys, yeah, I'll try to get some more videos up and that kind of thing, and keep it going in the new year and that kind of stuff. But yeah, cheers for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. All right, good luck.